Ngai pengagang jaja kadang maring bunjala bujuri gurung maring. Me and my brother in Gadigal Maring, we believe it's special and right to teach our people.
And this is what we're going to go into over the next couple.
If you're travelling country, you always acknowledge country, welcome country, and then we also do a smoking ceremony. Smoking ceremony to us is about introducing ourselves to our ancestors. You go into the smoke and you give strength, guidance, get them to walk with you, but it's also a way to fill your cup up. So when you give, what happens is you run out of energy, and through the smoking ceremony is the way that you ask your old people for power, for strength, and then gives them the ability to sort of start that day off on the right foot. You smoke your feet because you know that's part of you walking country. The idea is to cleanse your body. You got clothes on. The idea is you should be taking shoes off. You know, you should be sitting, should be taking your time. But there's different levels of smoking ceremony. So we call that one like a half smoking, where you go with your clothes on and you're open to put your feet in. Basically, everything has to go through the smoke, and then you rub it into your skin, rub it into your face, and part of all that is basically immersing yourself within the smoke. The importance of it is to connect to your ancestors, and the more smoke you're in, the more you're in there, the more you get to channel it, and it's a relationship thing. The more you work towards a relationship between the smoke and yourself, the stronger the connection. Therefore, the stronger you're able to connect to them old people that smoke connects to.
When we light that fire and we put that smoke on there, what happens? That smoke will travel up through the trees. The trees, they eat the smoke, and that's where that smoke travels. That's where my grandfather sits. And when we are struggling in life and we are having a hard time, because life gets tricky, you know, you always got obstacles and hurdles. What happens is, them old people sit there for you, and they love you and they care for you. And you go into that smoke and you ask them for strength, you ask them for guidance. And if you share that love with them old people, what happens is they are obligated to help you because of the love that you share and the love that you hold.
Today was it was deadly. Like we said, we got a bit to work out. We went into connector over boundaries and responsibilities. So we talk about connectors over boundaries is we get taught a lot about different mob, different country, different language, different people, different. Where the mentality that we hold behind that is that we're not talking about differences. We want to build up what is the same, not what is different.
And it goes back to another thing in them subclasses, them subgroups, that goes to our totem, our kinship system. That's why I can travel anywhere around, because that new kinship system, that subclasses, gave me a place to sit in every community around Australia. They got, oh, I'm this lad. Oh, well, you go sit with them lads, they'll teach you. Well, I'm this fella. Oh, you go sit with them ones, they'll teach you. And so it's all linked in. But because we're not practicing them ceremonies and not keeping them connections and communication alive anymore, because it was severed, not our choice, it was cut from us. We only got little remnants that left, and everyone started arguing. Instead of sitting down, so what do you reckon? How come this is this? No, I got told this. I'm not listening to you. And that's how it all gets really tricky for us now back to the South Coast.
So when we say there's a river, Bungali down home, that separates the mob, Wanderi mob, to the Gamia Darul mob, we'll say, oh, they're a different mob. But what truly it is that, nah, that's not a boundary, that river is actually a connector. It connects one tribe to another tribe. They both live out of the water, they both have obligation to care, the responsibility to look after and keep the fish and everything healthy. And then because the river travels upstream, the mob that feed and live off it upstream, we also have an obligation at the mouth to care for that, because then it relates to the connection to the mob down there. So the session at the beginning was about the mentality behind welcome smoking's different countries, mentality of how we are same rather than how we're different.
The two questions is, how do we know
that our people don't have a warlike mentality. And the second one, you explain your understanding of the relationships between tribes before colonisation or invasion. So what your belief, what your perspective is on those things? Like,
the afternoon we went into warlike mentality. We basically give out these questions. Why do you think our mob don't have or didn't have a warlike mentality?
Religion, yeah, we're on the right. But then what was that? What has happened with religion?
Differences in views.
Yeah, differences in
Like
views,
wars.
right? So differences in views. We didn't have differences in views. We had same way, but a little different. We didn't focus on the differences. We focused on what was the same, right? So that's one. What else is you look around the world and you think about?
We didn't need to have war because we had communication, because we could understand, because we had all these beautiful things. We had a system, structures. We had those things that sat inside it, and then it linked into real relationships. We actually had a relationship with each other. We could actually talk to each other. We didn't have, ulterior motive. We didn't have bad blood, like animosity. We didn't have none of that because through real relationships, through communication, we were able to talk all that out. So we just went into that mindset and basically was just drawing that out of the group. As we progressed through the day, we started realising that everybody in the room had something that they wanted to talk about and they wanted to express their opinion, and they started, I feel like they started drawing more from that approach. So I guess us as facilitators, we start to now design the best approach. So less us talking to the group than them building up about how we can draw from the group. So just our approach, I just wouldn't, the timing was perfect, but yeah, I just think the delivery will get better.
Yeah, today was really good. It was something different. Usually from just getting up and presenting and educating to be to try and organise people to talk. It was a bit of a different thing, but I think it went really well. I think the mad thing was people realised that they knew more than what they thought they knew. They were surprised themselves with their own knowledge and how they could connect the dots. So I think that was the mad thing, where they walked away saying, I do know my culture, as I wasn't a complete stranger to it. These things I did grow up hearing are relevant and are important, and I think that was the mad thing. I think that's why culture and knowledge is important. They realise that they do have their own little fire, and it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's just a start. So to see where it's going from just this first session, to see where it's going to be like in the next 2 weeks is going to be completely different participants, I reckon.